wonderful listeners. I am glad you're still there listening to your favorite radio station, Living Radio 90.9. I know you're expecting our program tomorrow. That will be coming your way tomorrow. That is issues of the moment. But this morning, we want to look at a few things as it concerns politics in Nigeria, especially Abia State and Aba in particular. And recently, we have drifted from the normal local government chairmanship to mayorship in all the local governments in Abia State, the 17 local governments in Abia State. And I have a wonderful analyst in the house, Felix. His name is Felix Polyma. Felix Polyma is also a media guru and also a wonderful political analyst and also public affairs analyst. Is in the studio with me this morning to look at this thing. And then, what is the third tier of government? Why was it created? And is it fulfilling the reason for its creation? These are just a few things we're going to look at this morning, and in less than 20 minutes or 30 we'll be through with it. And Polymax, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Prof. God bless you.
All right, today we know we have a new government that is doing his best to ensure that Abians are happy, and also that the much of the national economy that is hitting every person hard will not be that much on Abians. That's the work of the governor. He's trying. That is the person of Dr. Alex Jomaroti. He's doing his best. But there have been a lot of mixed feelings recently concerning the appointment of chairmanship of the local government, the 17 local governments. They came up with a new idea, and that idea is that it's no more chairman but mayors. And then you, as a person, a man of the media, and also who is also on ground, having worked with a lot of politicians, what do you think about this appointment of mayors?
Well, thank you very much, Prof, for giving me this audience. But I must sincerely say that the governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Oti, in his own way has his reasons for doing whatever thing he chooses to do. And I must also make you realize that even in the past administrations, we have the sections called the chairman, the local government chairman. And on the side of Dr. Alex Oti, he has come to make a difference. The difference in the sense that he chooses to name them the mayors. Unlike other states, such as Rivers State in particular, I know they've been moving with the name mayors for long, based on my research, and I think this is just not the first time the name mayors is coming to play. And if you ask me, the most important thing about this mayorship is the people giving the dividends to the local governments and doing that which is right. I think that is the best thing I think I should tell you now for you to get me right.
All right. Now talking about the mayor, the name is just a name, and that it may have nothing to do with the dividends of democracy getting across to the people. Yeah. But if you realize the reason for the creation of this third tier of government known as the local government, and that is where the commonest person in the village, the grassroots, this is where they come around. That is their own Asorok. That is their own state capital, and then these people appointed mayors. How many of them are real grassroots politically?
Well, truth be told, I know definitely this question will come to play. But I must also tell you that the governor, in his own magnanimity, has one way or the other picked his choice. And he's actually not looking at, if you ask me, the grassroots level. He's looking beyond the grassroots level. And on the side of grassroots, yes, for sure. Let me use my local government mayor, for instance, Honorable Elelenta, for instance, from Ishalangwa South local government area. He is not fully on ground as far as grassroots is concerned. But if you ask me, I will vividly tell you that the governor has his own way of doing his own things. He's looking beyond not just the grassroots, but beyond the grassroots.
Okay, now we're talking about shortly before now we have had the governor say, from grapevine and so on, that is going to appoint people, not people who will be coming to embezzle the local government funds, but people who are mature, who are pushers already, who are business moguls in their various endeavors of life, and people that have made it. That is why these people are appointed, and thereby, just like you mentioned about your local government, in so many local governments there have been complaints that the people appointed these mayors are people who are not on ground. Then how do you think it is going to carry along the essence of the local government? Remember, before now, the local government people, the grade roads, the markets and so on are under them. But as we speak now, the local government barely do nothing. Everything is centered on the state, while it's supposed to be a area of government of its own that should stand aloof of its own instead of being combined together. So how do you think that this mayorship is going to work in our democracy this time?
Thank you very much. I think the essence of the governor appointing these dignified personalities as mayors in their various local governments is actually for them to use what they have, not just realizing or relying on the pulse of the local governments. And I think these people we are talking about are people that are already self-made. They have what it takes to keep the ball rolling before anything falls on the side or the pulse on the government. If you ask me, I will tell you truthfully that the governor, Dr. Alex Otti, has a positive intentions on his different local governments in Abia State. One of his essence or his reasons for appointing these people is to make sure that they themselves use what they have to create a positive impact in the lives of each and every of them that has its local government to safeguard. But if it's truly want to know the truth about this, I think the governor on its own actually has a positive reasons, and that reason is one, not only them realizing or using or utilizing the opportunities of these local government funds, but also using what they have as a person to actualize some certain goals. I think that is the essence of these.
And now, like you will always say, the truth be told, can you now convince our listeners that any man will want to bring out money from his purse to work for government, especially at this part of the globe? And then what examples will you cite among those that have been appointed mayors in Abia State? Because that is exactly what the governor had in mind. I want to believe that. Yep. But how many of them are really ready, irrespective of the billions or trillions that are reeled out on monthly basis and the state allocation, internal generated revenue? How many of them do you think will want to dip hand into their business money coffers, to work for the local government they are representing?
Thank you very much. But I think none of them is actually doing this not to get their money back, possibly why he or she must have placed in something into it. But the truth is this, the mayors you are talking about today are men that have actually one way or the other made positive impacts in Abia in general. And if you still want to know one of the major things in regards to this mayorship, is that they have all it takes to put in their wealth. And nobody is telling them not to, at the end of the run or at the end of the day, not to have their wealth back to them. It is something that you can actually put in something, so as time goes on, you can actually extract from where it is coming out from. I think this is just what the governor is working towards, and I think that is his mission.
So you want our listening audience to believe that they will invest, and after a while they will have to recoup whatever thing they've invested, and the government will pay them back. Is that what you think?
Of course, since the allocation is coming forth, I think on a monthly basis, they can actually put in theirs, and once it comes, they extract back. I think that's just the...
Now, take for instance, in my local government and so many of the local governments in Oisiomangwa, the person, so many people rallied around there, and then they had believed it was going to, be on that local government seat, And then all these people who voted the man had believed that the appointment was going to go to some of these men that had really worked, who are the grassroots who really worked to ensure that the governor becomes the governor. And to them, they are neglected because all their intentions and aspirations are thrown to the dogs, according to them. What do you think becomes of these people with their anticipations?
Well, I have always been a good supporter of good governance, and I have also wished that the governor in question would have done much more than what he has done. I think the most important thing is the position, the mayor position, the local government chairman or its executive position tends to go to the grassroots. A grassrooter who understands the feelings of the people, a grassrooter who understands what it takes to involve the people and what it means to realize some certain potentials. And if you go by the big names so far mentioned by the governor who attacked the mayors, you understand that they are all made. And I think to the governor, he knows what he wants best anyway. But I think my message to those people who were one way or the other thinking,
who are aggrieved
over this appointment. I think to me, the governor has a way of paying them back.
All right, we are going to go on a very short break. When we come back, this discussion will continue. Remember, we're talking about the mayors. If you do not know, we don't have chairmen anymore in the local government. What we have are mayors, and that's exactly what we're talking about. And most of these mayors, most of them were imported from their various places, but were imported. Either they've not been around in the village, they've not stayed with the villagers, and then just because our governor knows maybe their capacity and their abilities, and that is why they were appointed. But a lot of people are not happy about that. Well, as soon as we come back, we are going to open the phone line so that if you have a contribution you make, when we come back, this discussion will continue.
Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh, sure, sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria? It's Revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Our ambition to be millionaires is running the country down. We all want to be millionaires and to live in the air. Oh, let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, we want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Remember that a simple step is the beginning of a million miles. Let's start right now to rebuild ourselves so as to make the country smile. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Heaven and earth will pass away. It is written in the book of God. The good people will surely find their ways, and the meek will inherit the world. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yes. I want to know. We want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? One more time. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Let's save Nigeria. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Oh yeah. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Which way Nigeria is heading to? One more time. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Amen.
All right, wonderful listeners. I'm glad you're still there. We're still your program, this discussional program. This morning we are looking at the appointment of the mayors in Nigeria, the third tier of government. And then as we go on, it is important that we also realize that when you talk about the three tiers of government, basically you're talking about the government structure that provides administration at the local government level or at the grassroots level. And what the government had in mind is to make sure that they bring government or dividends of democracy closer to those who are in the villages. That is the sense of that creation. And that is why a person appointed must also be a person who is acquainted with the people in the local government, in the rural areas. That is the essence of the local government. And today we are having mayors. You know, such an exalted name, such a big name instead of the local government chairman. You know what that means. So that's and remember, I am in the studio today with a brother and a friend also who is a good analyst when it comes to political issues and so on. That is why we're having him to look at this. And then moving on, we are still on this now. My brother, now Polymax, talking about this structure of government, we know the reason for its creation. Just like you talked about the man in your own local government who has been in overseas for some time, and today he is now there at the local government. How do you think the people in the local government, the grassroots we're talking about, how do you think they are going to benefit from these dividends of democracy we're talking about?
Okay, thank you very much, the Prof. I just have this to say about the man in question. Whether you like it or not, as a mayor, a local government chairman, he is expected not just to be the only person that will be foreseeing or looking into the situation of the council. I think he has his PAs, he has the local government secretaries and other office holders who I think will definitely guide him and put him through. And not just that too, I think he has other people he will be giving those listening ears to and definitely learn from the past lessons from other LG chairmen. I think with this, I think he will definitely wake up from his slumber, that's if he's sleeping, and do something that will be beneficial to the grassroots. I think there is still nothing wrong with somebody who stays in overseas and coming back home to become a local government chairman. And I think with the people available already in the council, or the people he tends to use as his personal assistants and all of that, they will direct him right, and he will definitely have a place.
All right. Considering the type of politics we play here in Nigeria, sycophancy, that is press singing, it rules the day, And then most of the people you talk about, these political aides, the PAs, and so on, most often they find it even very difficult because they themselves want to be lord of their own, and it's very common. And when the man is there, is quite unreachable by these grassroots. How possible do you think these political aides will help that man achieve exactly what he has? Most often the leaders we have, they have wonderful intentions, to bring about for the people they are leading. But most often these aides, will somehow, spoil the whole thing. And that is exactly what is happening, both in the state, the local government, and even in the national and state assemblies. So how are you going to talk about that?
I think it all depends on individual differences, and it is always different strokes for different folks. And if you still ask me, I will still say that even as a mayor, definitely you have a body called the chief of staff. Even as a mayor, you have the chief of staff, who I think is his second after him, aside his deputy rather. So I think there are many avenues you can always reach the mayor. There are many avenues you can always reach the mayors.
Okay, now looking at it that way, in Nigerian politics here, whoever is at the head becomes the lord of all. Sure. And that is why nobody faces impeachment, both the governor, the president, and so on. And that is something in the local government area. And so do you think that it is possible in anywhere for either the supervisory councillors or these aides, even when you talk about the chief of staff, they're almost appointed by that same mayor or the chairman. And how can you now bite a finger? How can you bite a finger that fits you? Is it possible for them to call him the other, assuming he's not doing well?
I think for now, I think we have the councillors available in all local government areas. I think one of the functions of a councillor is to make sure that some of the information, some vital information, gets to the ears of the chairman, which is the mayor. With that, I think so many things can come to play. And when you talk about being impeached, I think one of the people that grace impeachments or prone towards getting the limelight of impeachment, it is the councillors that work towards that. So I think the councillors themselves are a positive brain behind a successful administration.
Yes, I agree with you. But in a situation where the chairman is the all and all, just like the governor is the all and all in the state. And have you seen any House of Assembly member, except in those days during the time of Joseph Okalo, the likes of CO Dem and so on, who will stand openly to say what you're doing is wrong? Have you ever seen any administration in government that stands up to oppose the government of the day? That is the governor. Have you ever seen that?
In Abia, we are yet to see one. And on this note, I think hopefully we are not going to see any. Hopefully, because it is a selected body by the governor.
Okay. All right, that's exactly what we're talking about. Okay, now talking about this, and these people, both the mayors and so on, And then let me ask you this. I know you're not a lawyer, but then as a graduate, at least you should be conversant with some of the political norms and so on. So, do you think this appointment of mayors, do you think it is constitutional? Do you think it's illegal in the state, constitution?
Well, initially, I think I have said it before that this issue of mayor in Abia Abia is not the first state we are hearing the word mayor. In Rivers State, we had, for long, they've been operating with mayors based on my findings, and I think this is just not the first time the word mayor is coming to play. And for we Abians, we are just taking it too high, because I think it is just the first time we are hearing this.
Exactly.
It is just the first time we are hearing this, and for that reason, everybody tends to disagree to the word mayor. But whether it is mayor or local government chairman, what matters is for them bringing the dividends of democracies to the doorsteps of the grassroots.
All right, before we call it a quit today, do you think both the councillors, supervisory councillors, or even the aides, do you think they have any right, of impeachment because, these people are not elected, they're appointed?
I think they have rights to impeachment. I think they have right to impeachment because as a councillor, once you feel your chairman is not getting it right after much complaints, I think some procedures has to take place, and a councillor too should have access to, one way or the other, access to the governor in question, and with that, such person can be summoned and a quick reactions can actually take place afterwards.
All right, before we go today, what is your final word to our listeners?
Well, I have this to say. The most important thing is just not the name, the beer. Whether it is local government chairman or mayor, the most important thing is the people elected or the people appointed to give the dividends of democracies to the doorsteps of those people that need it. I am not against where they are coming from. All I am interested in is where they are taking us to, the grassroots to. So if they can leave the big fame, the name, and the populace they've gained for themselves, I think they should do the right thing by making sure that the people smile home at when due. Thank you very much, and God bless you, sir.
All right, thank you, wonderful listeners. That is the much you are going to take on this. You've had it. You have no choice. The only choice you have there is a hope for the dividends of democracy. And I want to join my brother in believing that the governor knows what he's doing, and that I'm sure also that these people, even if they're going to learn through the process, and I'm sure they are going to give us that dividends of democracy. The name is doesn't really matter, because there is a saying then in sociology that name is just a sociological identification that has nothing to do with the name, with the person bearing the name. That is why Kamalo Swago can be a pastor, while a Christian can also be a native doctor. And that is the much we are going to take today. And in the studio with me is Polymax. Polymax, thank you for coming down.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless you.
And this is your anchor man, Orator Chineduma Diele. Until we come your way again, keep enjoying yourself. Still Living Radio 90.9. Bye for now.